All right, today we're going to go over the 4 different kinds of sentences using the more educated terms for each sentence: declarative, imperative, interrogative, and exclamatory. But before we get started on some actual sentences here, I'd like you to hear a little taste of a song by Rockin' the Standards that if you listen to this over and over again, it's going to make learning this concept a lot more fun and simpler. So check it out.
Well, a statement has another name. It's called declarative, my friend. Just tells you something plain and simple. Put a period at the end. If you ask about something in a question, interrogative sentence. Don't forget to end this type of sentence with a big fat question mark. Now commands are tough to handle. You must call this type imperative to. Well, a statement has another name. Well,
there we go. All right, so you get the idea on the song there. So go check that out at rockinthestandards.com. You can download that song for just 99 cents. Makes this concept a lot easier to learn. So let's start taking here. First of all, just the definition of each. A declarative sentence is a statement. It just tells you something plain and simple, like it says in the song. An imperative sentence is a command. It's when you're telling someone to do something. Even if you say it nicely, it's still considered to be an imperative. Next, we have an interrogative. An interrogative sentence is a question, ends with a question mark. By the way, an imperative sentence is going to end usually with a period. Declarative is going to end with a period. An imperative sentence could end with an exclamation point if you're yelling a command at someone. And I guess that would be considered an exclamatory imperative sentence, because an exclamatory sentence is one that ends with an exclamation point. It's a sentence that shows more emotion or a stronger feeling. And so what we're going to do on each one of these is read the sentence. We're going to decide which types of the sentence it is of the 4, and then put the correct punctuation mark down here at the end. All right, the first sentence says, put a summary of your topic on my desk tomorrow morning. Now notice the first word of this sentence is telling someone to do something. Put a summary of your topic. In other words, I want you to do this. Now it doesn't sound like anybody's really yelling something like this, so we're going to put a period right down there. And since it's a command, we consider this to be an imperative sentence. So we're going to fill in imperative there. All right, in 1955, number 2, in 1955, a riot broke out at an Elvis Presley concert in Jacksonville, Florida. Now this is, let's go through each one of these that are wrong first. Is this an exclamatory sentence? Are we yelling this sentence out? No, not something we'd yell. Is it asking a question? Are we asking if this riot broke out? No, it's just saying that it did. Is it giving a command? Are we commanding someone to do this? No, it's just making a statement. It's a declarative sentence. It needs a period at the end, and then we're going to fill in declarative. All right, this next one says, your perfume stinks. Now that sounds like something someone would be a little bit more upset about. They're not asking you a question. They're not giving you a command telling you to do something. It's not just a statement. It's a statement with a lot of emotion. So this is an exclamatory sentence. An exclamatory, the word exclamatory sounds a lot like the word exclamation. And so that's a pretty easy one to remember because of that. Go hang up your blouse in the closet. Again, that's a period. We're giving a command to go do something. Notice the first word, just like up here, this is a verb, put. Here we have a verb as the first word, go do this. Imperative sentences normally start with a verb. They don't always start with a verb because we might have a word like please go hang up your blouse in the closet. So that would not be a verb that would be at the beginning. But this is a command, and so we're going to write imperative in here. That's my favorite song. That just sounds like they're making a statement, so we're going to say that's declarative. And then it says, Bill insisted his comments were taken out of context. Now this is a statement, but it does sound like it's something that someone is a little bit more upset about. Between these two here, the declarative and the exclamatory, we can have some confusion because you don't really know how this sentence is being said. So sometimes it's just a matter of how you interpret what the words are. Bill insisted his comments were taken out of context. I'm going to say that that's a pretty emotional sentence, and I'm going to call it an exclamatory. We have not hit any interrogative sentences yet. Those are pretty easy to recognize. It's just something that's a question if it's asking something. Number 7, he's so dishonest. And again, I would say that that is something that sounds pretty emotional. I'm going to say that's an exclamatory sentence. If you think that's a declarative, that makes sense. But it would definitely not be an imperative. It's not a command. Definitely not an interrogative. It's not a question. All right, now you're going to try some of these. Sure. Here's 8 through 15. I'd like you to pause the video, and you don't need to copy the whole sentence down, but see if you can write out the answers for these of 8 through 15, including what you would put as the punctuation mark on the sentence. When you're ready to see what the solutions are, turn the video back on, and I'll go through them with you one by one. All right, number 8, put the coleslaw on the table next to the potatoes. Again, this starts with a verb. It's telling someone to do something, ends with a period, and so this is an imperative sentence. Imperative. There we go. The next one, why is that vulture circling around the rabbit? This is asking a question, so it needs to be ending with a question mark, and this is an interrogative sentence. Who took this aerial shot of the White House? Again, we're starting, each one of these starts with a question word. That is asking a question. That's also an interrogative. It takes a few years to cultivate oysters of a certain quality. This is just making a statement. It's not asking a question. It's not yelling anything out. That's not something you would yell. It's not giving a command. So this is just a plain old declarative sentence. And again, the tricky part with this is memorizing which word means what. And so by using the song, makes it real simple to have that totally ingrained in your mind, because you know how music works. You can't forget words to songs. Did the police find out who broke into the jewelry store? That's asking a question. The first word here you can see is a question word, and so that's another interrogative sentence. So am I spelling that right? I don't know if I'm even spelling that right. Let's go back and look at the slide. Yep. Oh no, AT, okay. Let me fix my spelling on that. Interrogative. A tricky word to spell even for us teachers. Okay, the climb to the top of the mountain is almost vertical. That's just saying a statement that it's straight up and down to get to the top of the mountain, so that would be a declarative. Make sure you pay your bills on time. That's telling someone to do something. That's not something you'd necessarily yell, but that's an imperative. Oops, no, I spelled that one wrong. Not doing too well on my spelling here today. Okay, she loves to swim and bask in the sun. That's just a simple statement. And hey, we don't have any exclamatories on this part. So that's another declarative. All right, that's it on the 4 kinds of sentences. Again, here's the Rockin' the Standard song.
Well, a statement has another name. It's called declarative, my friend. Just tells you something plain and simple. Put a period at the end. If you ask about something in a question, interrogative sentence. Don't forget to end this type of sentence with a big fat question mark. Now command